So this is a presence of Jewish people in Spain that's verified archaeologically. As you go on the centuries after that, you have the early church as having issues with the Jewish people not believing and things like that. So you have a continuous presence of Jews there through the centuries, right? And then ultimately driven out 1492 when Spain expels all non-baptized Jews. So they're driven out from there. Then you can trace where they've been since there and since then. And Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews, so Middle Eastern Jews, make up the majority of the population of Israel. So even putting Ashkenazi Jews aside, that's who's living, that's who God brought back to the land. But you can trace these things out. You have literature, you have history, you have zero of that, none of that whatsoever. None of that whatsoever when it comes to the 12 tribes chart. You got bizarre things, made up Hebrew, words that don't exist to prove points, literally, words that don't exist, made up to prove points. How can I show they don't exist? Well, look at every dictionary that exists. They don't even the citations from Strong's Concordance, which is not meant to be used primarily as a dictionary. How can I show they don't exist? Well, look at every dictionary that exists. 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 They don't even the citations from Strong's Concordance, which is not meant to be used primarily as a dictionary. Even those are completely bogus. Completely bogus. So this is a presence of Jewish people in Spain that's verified archaeologically. As you go on the centuries after that, you have the early church as having issues with the Jewish people not believing and things like that. So you have a continuous presence of Jews there through the centuries, right? And then ultimately driven out 1492 when
All right, grace and peace, Dunamis. Come to the microphone. Let me see what your audio was sounding like.
Hey, grace and peace, Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat shalom.
everyone.
All right, you good? I'm gonna first. My first time. What's that? Oh yeah. You the first time he was because we were talking in the background. Most excellent. I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna just go ahead and let it play. I don't know how much time you have, Dunamis, or I'll pull up the other thing with post that sister made. I was supposed to talk on it yesterday, and when I was getting up doing some reading this morning, I see Pastor Kelly hit me, and it was kind of a reminder. Some other people hit me before, but I've seen it. I'm friends with Nefinity on Facebook. Matter of fact, let's pull that up right now so we can read that right now before we even get into it. Shout out to her. We've been praying for her and the family, and she's peeps regardless. We different from some of them other folks. She peeps regardless. Let me pull that up before I get into microbound. And who got the Rumble Room? I can't even remember. I was in there years ago when I used to be, part of just involved in and the other conscious committed community. We going out with them. I used to be involved in all that stuff. I don't know who it is, but we're gonna play this post from the Biblical Rumble Room, and stuff is already coming in. A lot of people got shorts, TikToks out there based on the debate. I don't know how much time you got. Text me in the background. Let me see. I think I have. Yeah, here it is. I have it right here. You will read off the screen or the text I hit you with.
Yeah, I'll read off the screen. All right, update. Thank you for praying for me. I've been blown away by the amount of support and love I've been receiving. I've really been overwhelmed by it. Keep praying for me. Your prayers are giving me strength. I love you guys. With regards to my recent post, I had multiple seizures and lost consciousness due to brain tumors and wound up in the emergency room a week ago. I was intubated in the ICU and didn't expect me to come back from that. I was in the hospital for 6 days. As of now, I'm home with my family. But according to the doctors, the situation is still dire. I am currently in home hospice care. They don't expect me to make it, but I know Jesus is in control. He's already strengthening me, tremendously to the point where I can walk on my own. Yahweh Rapha is amazing. Special thanks to Dwayne Lemon, Ivor Myers, Bree Keys, the Perfect Peace Support Group, Meet Ministries, my pastor Colton Knott, and the people I don't even know who started prayer groups for me. Thank you. People asking me how to give. My cash app is $Nefertiti. So that's $NEFERNITTY.
And I see 947 people responded to that right there with some hearts or whatever. We love you, sis. We appreciate you and the work that you've done in the kingdom. Now, there's some people down the channel, there's some thumpers out here they'll say, well, she don't eat pork and she don't keep the Sabbath, and the whole thing that went down with her and some apologists and stuff like that. But I think some of this stuff is deeper than this doctrine you folk are espousing out here and fighting against. That's definitely my sister in Christ. I ain't thinking about near one of you thumpers. I ain't thinking about near one of you thumpers now. Now, do we agree on doctrine? Absolutely not. We don't agree on everything, but our prayers go out to her and her family. Y'all want to support. Y'all see her her cash app on there. And we're going to move on. I want to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about camps and non-campers. Camps, non-campers, and conspiracy theories. Whole bunch of stuff been going on. A lot of people, they in their camps right now. They keeping camp. They doing what they do so we could talk freely right now. I can't lie, I met 2-3 people mess around with that debate. I met 2-3 Israelites, these straight campers now. I'm like, Lord have mercy. But they seem to be some decent, sensible people. They seem to be some decent, sensible people. What is Dunamis? Do me a favor. Post. Are you on your computer?
Yeah, I'm on the computer.
What is cross-pollination? What does that mean? What is cross-pollination? Because I want to talk about some benefits. There's some benefits with the camps. And what's that? They have in studies. So I noticed that a lot of my non-camper people, they don't go to church. They don't have a church. Other guy posted earlier this week about Pastor Green talking about, I see Berean letting him get members for his church or reach out to people and tell them that they should go to church, not knowing that we are the temple of God. We are the temple. Because Rich say ye are the temple, Covey, does that mean original Israelites did not congregate or go to synagogue? Because there's too many people. You hold 6 years. You 6 months deep in the awakening and you don't know, you can't name the feast. You ain't ever been to no feast. What month is this on the Hebrew calendar if this is your culture? People just need to be taught. That's all it is. So we got cross-pollination because we got people that's non-campers, but they're home. We got a few. I've met 2 or 3 people. Shout out to the other brother that, oh God, what's my brother's name? Born-again Israelites in them. They came up out of a camp. They came into the true knowledge of the everlasting God. Got the Holy Ghost. It came up out the camp. So we got 2 or 3 people that have come out of camps that were camp leaders or whatever, but they don't rock. The other brother Phineas that did, but they don't rock with camps no more. But they're knowledgeable in the faith. They're knowledgeable in the culture. Now now Dunamis is different. I don't know if he's ready to share certain things yet. I don't want to put him. Dunamis, I love you, right, brother? You're muted.
I don't know.
He don't know. He don't know. Dunamis, if you Israel or if you ain't Israel, you can come out and say. I might shock him and come out myself and say some stuff. Are you Israel? People are waiting. People are asking. People are watching. And people. I don't want to put Dunamis. I don't want to do it in front of Boo and them. I don't want to do not Dunamis, somebody else. But it's hard dealing with some of this. I'm going to just leave it at that, Brown. We'll all talk in the background. We a whole family in the background. We can't talk in front of these folk. My grandchildren and them, they got their peeps all up in here. We can't talk in front of these folk. But there's some people that feel some type of way that are Christians, and they don't feel what y'all feel. They ain't got the hatred that y'all, they ain't ready to murder. Y'all coming up out of Nicaea, some of y'all want to kill. They don't use Trinity. Matter of fact, go ask Cherry and them. Did anybody ever kill anybody off of not believing in the Trinity? Was there any murdering going on the Orthodox side? Did they kill people for not believing in the Trinity? I'm looking for that murdering spirit because it's still here. But what's cross-pollination, Dunamis? Because you could say what you want. There's a lot of Christians also that listen to certain things from Hebrew roots people. They listen to certain things and they're just not getting stuff from the Baptist denomination that they grew up in. Zay getting ready to get blocked today. He said, choose ye today. He already made his story. They said, choose ye today, Dunamis. These people crazy with it. And we have non-campers that's being trained or influenced by the camps, because who else is having classes? Who else are teaching? So we're seeing a type of cross-pollination going on with camps and non-campers alike. I think it's more so non-campers that's being trained by the camps, by certain things that they're hearing. Let me look at this battery, because my situation is something else. Go ahead. He gonna do some reading. I'm gonna mute myself. Dunamis got it.
So cross-pollination. So that's from dictionary.com. So in botany, the transfer of pollen from the flower of one plant to the flower of a plant having a different genetic constitution. Second definition, a sharing or interchange of knowledge, ideas, etc. As for mutual enrichment, cross-fertilization.
That second definition, I like that second definition. Brown said hybrid doctrine. Hybrid doctrine. A lot of, let me see. Read a boo. You already see the comments.
Lots of one West influence on those who insist lots of one West influence on those who insist they have nothing to do with the camps. One example is how widespread Lashwan Kodash is.
Come on here. That's an excellent example right there. That's an excellent example right there. Now, what do you say about that? Is it good or bad? And remember, us in the church, Hebrew Roots movement, a lot of people say, well, I didn't get this from the church. I got some stuff, and there's more and more pastors. I got plenty of them in my phone, and their members are being influenced by Hebrew Roots, by different things outside of what they traditionally taught in Pentecostalism.
Hold on. We got Abu. Let's be fair. Maybe folks are having dreams. Maybe folks having visions about the language, and that's leading them to Lashwan Kodash. Not everyone, but there might be those who utilize it. Maybe it's not the influence. So we got to check and see.
Now, that's the beef. That's the beef. Will the Spirit of truth, will the Spirit of God lead you to... And we've asked this because we know the culture's getting ready to get embarrassed. Say what you want. I may not claim to be an Israelite, but I'm a black man in this country. I'm born again. I'm a black man in this country. But black folk, I don't want this thing to go on a worldwide scale, and people all over the world are looking and saying, these people are really making up languages. Will the Spirit of truth lead you to speak this language, give you this language, and stammering lips and another tongue and all this nonsense? And I don't mean to offend anybody, but we're just here trying to talk. All the real thumpers there at camp, all the real holy people, they keep in the Shabbat, they not using electricity, so we could talk right now. We the regular folk that's trying to reason and understand. Let me play this. Let me play some of this first.
You see Xavier?
Where you say at? You started talking about...
Breen, why am I in the background chat? Zay ain't been to work
in months. No, because go ahead.
Zay ain't been to work in months. Now he want the benefits. He want to get back. You can't back in.
See that's a good one right there. But earlier on, the beef is... I got two sets of mods. I got the other mod. Basically the mods are broke down into two sets. We got the regular working mods that be in the comment section, a whole bunch of stuff, and there's some other people that's in the background. The background people is a little bit ill, so they were saying, well, maybe Zay is a little bit young to be... Some of the back chat is some ignorant chat. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. And sometimes we talk about people in the comment section. We talk about people. We was talking about my friend Bruce. I said that Bruce. Oh, that's my man. But that dude is different. That's how we gonna talk about conspiracies. It's gonna make sense as we go on, Zay. It's gonna make sense. But we talked about that 2 years ago. How long ago was we said we don't know if it's good that Zay hears some of the craziness that we be discussing in the background. Jason Brown, don't laugh because you in the background. Don't laugh because you in the background. Did Dr. Brown cuss? Most excellent. Did Dr. Brown cuss? We got to see if he cussed now, because the Rumble Room, they done run amok. It took something. Y'all know I just had so much going on. I couldn't hear everything. So often, like I do with even videos where it's nowhere near 4,000, over 4,000 people, I go back and I listen to it the next day. Listen to this. Did Dr. Brown cuss? And is cussing the main thing, or y'all need to deal with what he's saying because he's blowing shots. And we're going to see way more of this because now it's opened out into the public. These Jewish messianic apologists, a lot of people know him. He's been doing this for a long time. Shout out to Blacktastic. Tim, yes. Tim said he quit the background. He quit, yes. Blacktastic was talking. Y'all may not like it, but he was talking good. He was talking good. Let me look at the comments. What's made up about the language? We got to talk about this. All right. Arkansas Judah said, what's made up about see that? I might have to. He muttered well, let's see. Let's see if he did.
We got to go to the archive for Arkansas Judah. We haven't done a Lost Farm production in a while.
No. That's good. That's good. Let me play this first and I'll get this out the way, and I'm gonna pull up some other brothers.
So this is a presence of Jewish people in Spain that's verified archaeologically. As you go on the centuries after that, you have the early church is having issues with the Jewish people not believing and things like that. So you have a continuous presence of Jews there through the centuries, right? And then ultimately driven out 1492 when Spain expels all non-baptized Jews. So they're driven out from there. Then you can trace where they've been since there. And since then, and Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews, so Middle Eastern Jews, make up the majority of the population of Israel. So even putting Ashkenazi Jews aside, that's who's living, that's who God brought back to the land. But you can trace these things out. You have literature, you have history, you have zero of that. None of that whatsoever. None of that whatsoever when it comes to the 12 tribes chart. You got bizarre things, made up Hebrew, words that don't exist, to prove points, literally words that don't exist, made up to prove points. How can I show they don't exist? Well, look at every dictionary that exists. They don't, even the citations from Strong's Concordance, which is not meant to be used primarily as a dictionary. How can I show they don't exist? Well, look at every dictionary that exists. 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 Look at every dictionary that exists.
What did he say here? Nothing that there ain't near Sakari leader out here that got a YouTube channel that you ain't heard cuss. But I like the fact that they look so highly up to this good Christian, because they know Christians ain't supposed to use bad language. They know that. Dowell and all of them. Guerrilla Hebrew, Deacon, everybody could cuss, but not the Christians, not the good Christians. They don't expect it. They expect this from Pastor Dowell. Y'all saying cussing ain't even cussing. Whole bunch of folk hang out in that Rumble Room. They say cussing ain't cussing. Rape ain't rape. Nothing ain't nothing messing around with these good prophets. And he's he ain't a prophet. He a regular, ignorant Gentile. Matter of fact, he Revelation 2 and 9 and 3, and now he a fake Jew. That's what y'all say, right? So if he did cuss, I'll play it back. It sounds like he cussed, they said. So if he cussed, what's the beef? Who ain't cuss? Who in GMS ain't cuss? Who in ISUPK don't cuss? They got a large YouTube follow. Which one of y'all I can find I can't catch with a cuss in a video? I'll wait.
But you also bear in mind, he got that. I didn't realize it till now. I don't know if this is lately, but he got a little like a list or a slur because he's speaking in Hebrew.
He does. That's what I'm saying. Is this what he by saying? Is that did he use the F-bomb? And because you know, Brown, you know the average person. I cuss every day, especially during football season. It's COVID right here, but you can't say that in front of everybody. Y'all can't say that. I think I've gotten worse with it, messing around with y'all and being in this ignorance. Y'all see my earlier video? Berean ain't talking about that. Berean ain't talking like this in my earlier videos. No, being around you folk. Being around you folk. But look at this. We don't know what he said. He does have a list. We don't know what he said exactly. But the thing that scared me, Fervent Charity, is they bringing this out. He disrespected saying not a dictionary, not a university on the planet. Y'all talking about what's wrong with Lashawan Kwadash. Abu just brought up a good thing. Non-campers are even using it, and it came from the camps, cross-pollination. The camps are good in a way if some of the stuff wasn't pseudo. There's some pseudo stuff in the camps. Now, don't be mad because I spent 3 years with y'all blowing at that Christmas tree and that Easter egg. Like the sister said, what Easter egg doctrine is it? When Abu and Covey hemmed y'all up about a primary source after 3 years on the Christmas tree, they're not one of y'all. Including all the masters with the YouTube channels was on. They're not one of y'all. The other guy said he wanted to come with the Christmas tree doctrine. I said, boy, as soon as he do that, I'm finna blow. He never came with it. Boy, he better not stick his head up. Then we asked, when was the first Christmas tree came in the house and connected to Jesus? Oh, Jeremiah, I don't even want to talk to you if you think Jeremiah tended the Christmas tree, because the Christmas tree ain't even come on the scene till 2,000 years later. Did they have trees? Did they have totem poles? Did they have craftsmen that carved wood and idol and stone and different things into gods? Yes, they did. But is Jeremiah specifically talking about a Christmas tree? No, he ain't. Some people want to call it prophetic. Okay, so we blew on Christianity and the Christmas tree for years. At least 3 years straight, me and the Israelites. So now that we want to look at some stuff in Israel that may not be right and exact, they shouldn't be mad. Anybody that's mad would be like, yo, a lot of people say, yo, Berean, I can't lie, you straight up fair. That's how come people chose to listen. If we gonna have it anywhere, let's have it on Berean TV. This is why they had the debate over here, because somebody believed that we're trying to get to the truth. We really want to be fair and hear out both sides. So now we got to look and see, is there any BS in Israel? I brought up the other day, Israelites are preaching. I don't know if you could preach to me on the corner and you got tattoos on your neck, you got a sleeve of tattoos on your arm, and you preach and keep the law of Moses. I know the law of Moses. I keep it to the best of my ability. Then we got to go to the Israelite woman. If your woman is your queen, is your queen wearing makeup, and you say the Catholics and the white people took Enoch out, where does makeup come from according to the book of Enoch? We got to talk, y'all.
Jezebel
We
painted her
got to
face.
talk, y'all.
Yeah, Marine, Jezebel painted her face.
Jezebel painted her face. Who in Israel want to be like Jezebel? And this is why the old timers, the old people used to say, ooh, that lipstick is of the devil. Now y'all got y'all eyelashes long like a porcupine. Now your wives running around here, and they're influenced by it. They're influenced by it. So we argue about little things. Is it good to keep your birthday? Can you take your grandkids? Can you take your kids to Chuck E. Cheese? Or is it the devil? Is it the way of the pagan? So we talk about stuff. We just here to talk about stuff. Let's play him. Let's see if he cussing. It ain't the end of the world. It ain't the end of the world. See that? I even play TikToks where people cuss. Other people like, oh, it's so, no, for pure Christian channel. I'm like, oh, shut up. You probably cuss getting cut off in traffic. You'll say some stuff, Bishop. Shut up. We got to start being real. Now, if somebody in here, y'all ain't cussed in 6, 7 years, raise your hand, type of 1. We ain't going to block you. We're going to look up to you. Sometimes people go through seasons of bad language. Sometimes they cut it out. But we have found that there are some people that justified in Israel. The other guy cussed. He said, yo, you just cussed. He said, no, with strange speech Paul spoken to them. Oh, what word? I said, what in the hell is that? Scripture don't mean that. But he took it and he said, that scripture mean the prophet stood on the corner cussing at the people. You got to cuss to Israel to make them understand. This is how we got to talk to black folk. I'm like, wow, let it play fair use.
And don't forget, Brandon, what did Jesus call the woman at the well?
Come on.
Called
John,
her a dog.
Come on.
Female dog.
And the Canaanite woman, and listen, they look down on them. Fair use.
So this is a presence of Jewish people in Spain that's verified archaeologically. As you go on the centuries after that, you have the early church is having issues with the Jewish people not believing and things like that. So you have a continuous presence of Jews there through the centuries, right? And then ultimately driven out 1492 when when Spain expels all non-baptized Jews. So they're driven out from there. Then you can trace where they've been since there and since then. And Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews, so Middle Eastern Jews, make up the majority of the population of Israel. So even putting Ashkenazi Jews aside, that's who's living there. That's who God brought back to the land.
I got to stop right there. Peter cussed. After Peter got the Holy Ghost, after the day of Pentecost in Acts 2, did Peter cuss again? After Peter got the Holy Ghost in Acts 2 on the day of Pentecost and the Ruach HaKodesh was poured out on them. I know y'all say he breathed on them and they received Peter cussed that. Did we got Peter cussing later on in the ministry? Oh, he cussed right there when Christ was getting ready to get, and they were blaming him, and Christ even told him he was going to deny him. That's one thing I love about him. When he called me to this work, he already knew I was crazy. Church folk trying to act like they shocked and oh, you can't be really a Christian. You can't be. He knew when he called, I was crazy as hell. He knew I would slip up. He knew I would mess up. He knew I would sin again. But because my sin ain't your sin, you want to throw me out the kingdom. I'm out the kingdom. Good to see you, Sister Duncan. I don't know if they put you out the kingdom. They put me out the kingdom. I can't be his. Boy, y'all funny today. Y'all funny today. And these folk whole time they kids, I want to talk about them, their kids and their lifestyle. When it ain't your sin, you quicker to judge somebody else. Oh, I can't take them homosexuals. Oh, I can't, but them homosexuals, but you could take a wife beater. Oh, he slap his wife, sometimes they mouth get, oh, you could take a wife beater. You could take somebody running up in their baby mamas and making different babies and all of that stuff after being a camp leader for years. You could take that though, because that's your sin. So you identify with that sin. Let me stop. Let me leave you thumpers alone for a minute. Let me leave you thumpers alone. Y'all got a grace for the sin that's your sin, but once it ain't your sin, y'all ain't tolerating it. Hello.
But you can trace these things out. You have literature, you have history, you have zero of that. None of that whatsoever. None of that whatsoever when it comes to the 12 tribes chart. You got bizarre things, made up Hebrew, words that don't exist to prove points. Literally, words that don't exist, made up to prove points. How can I show they don't exist? Well, look at every dictionary that exists. They don't even the citations from Strong's Concordance, which is not meant to be used primarily as a dictionary. How can I show they don't exist? Well, look at every dictionary that exists. 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 They don't even the citations from Strong's Concordance, which is not meant to be used primarily as a dictionary. Even those are completely bogus, misrepresenting, misused.
Go ahead, Brian. Line them up. Line them up. Yo, but hold on. Spirit of Simeon, to your super chat earlier. Are the Ashkenazi, if they're fake, are the Lemba fake? Are they true Jews?
You see Lando in there trying to hem up Dr. Y'all seen Lando in there trying to hem up Dr. Brown the other day? I said,
Yeah,
boy, okay,
man. I saw Lando on vocab too. He
vocab
making his
too?
rounds.
Wow.
Yeah, Lando making his rounds. Lando traveling preacher.
Wow.
He getting his feet wet. You know, he been to the classes. He went to Sabbath school. Now he ready.
Now he
He's
ready.
getting his gloves on.
All right. Lando, you start a YouTube channel yet? Go ahead. I'm getting ready to play these other brothers. So I want to show y'all something. I want y'all to see something. Go ahead, Dunamis. What you were saying?
Now just ask Spirit Simeon or the Lemba. I think there's a dichotomy where it's either those in the Americas or the Ashkenaz. But Jewry worldwide doesn't see Ashkenaz as only Jews. So just asking, are the Lemba fake Jews? Are they true descendants? Or are they fake? Just for clarity's sake. Because it's not just Ashkenaz and us here, so-called blacks in the Americas. Dr. Brown pointed out in terms of the Cohen gene, the Cohen model, Ashkenaz, a lot of Ashkenaz men on their Y have that, just like the Lemba. And when you talk about dilemma, they did a DNA test, compared themselves to the Ashkenaz, showing they had a Coney model, also going to showcase their story about coming from a line of priests.
Yeah, we do
Not
have
yet.
to.
I'm gonna try to join
Okay,
Sakari.
you see.
He gonna join Sakari.
You know he like Deacon and them. Deacon, you can say what you want. Deacon and them. I'm telling you right now, Nathaniel and IUIC is one thing they organize. They got the drones, they videos, nothing to play with. But Deacon and Gorilla Hebrew, the Gorilla Hebrew got on the map in a way that a lot of people, I don't think they recognize what went down with that debate. Y'all could laugh, keep on sleeping, talk about convict, dropout, and all of that stuff, but y'all keep on sleeping. The mere fact that y'all don't think felons are respected in the street in the hood, there's a lot of hoods. There's a lot of blocks out here, and some folk respecting the doctrine of these dudes. Y'all keep playing games. Don't make me start prophesying about Sakari. You think it's a game. You church people think it's a game, and y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. It's a dangerous, serious time out here. Everything coming out your mouth is going to be challenged. Everything coming out of orthodoxy is going to be challenged. And then it's a conspiracy on top of that. How do you deal, Abu, if everybody's hearts is closed? We're going to get to the conspiracy because clearly Bruce won this apostolic Pentecostal Israelite Holy Ghost talk, and he's running around here. He's going to talk about the conspiracy. So we got to discuss the conspiracy. He'll say, yo, I don't know, these dudes ain't right about no virgin birth and buy that, and all this stuff. And you ain't got the Holy Ghost. And Bruce will say all that stuff right there. But that conspiracy about Jews and Jewry and all of that stuff, that's how we got to go to Protocols of Zion. We got to go to the international Jew. How was the KKK and Phineas Priesthood saying the same thing that Bruce is saying about the Jew? Type of one if you think the Jew control the planet. Are y'all crazy? Y'all running around here. 1 minute you talk about the 33rd, 1 minute you talk about the Illuminati, but you say the Jews are running the planet. I'll bring in COINTELPRO because it was 4,500. Don't sleep for a minute. It was 4,500 people in here. Don't think the feds are very interested in what's going on with this awakening. Oh, more people than you think. They're very, very interested in what's going on, and they're watching people. They're listening to doctrines and they're watching people. I'm going to just leave it at that. But let me play some of this right here.
Yeah.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 7 and verse 9. Thus spake the Lord of hosts, saying, execute true judgment.
We got to execute true judgment. We can't just be so focused on what Esau has coming, what Amalek has coming, what Ammon and Moab has coming. Our people got death and destruction coming too if we do not get right. Our captivity and our punishment, our curses is going to perpetuate themselves if we don't correct ourselves. And that's amongst every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Right? Just because you in the know and they're not doesn't mean they're exempt of true judgment being executed with them. And now it doesn't mean now you can deal falsely with them because they don't know the name of the Most High, because they ain't rocking fringes or tzitzit or gadol. That doesn't mean any of that. When you know better, you have to do better and encourage them to do the same.
That's right.
Read.
And show mercy and compassion, every man to his brother.
And we need to have a lot more mercy and compassion one toward another. Even amongst those that have doctrinal differences, man. We so quick to, we Sakari. We believe in the lunar Sabbath. But if you messing around with that Friday night to Saturday night set every year, I don't know if I can rock with you. Or other little differences. We ain't even gonna get into it. Other little differences, you ready to cut a brother off. You got
I told you, Berean. Bruce was talking about the counter doctrine like it's a small thing.
Where Bruce at? Talking about essentials. Where Bruce at? And he figured, when would you think that these street thug dudes gonna start unifying all Israel? Pastor Green got on here and he told us, he said he tried to call out Nathaniel or somebody back in the day. I hope that wasn't a private conversation because I talk so much on the side. I don't know if it happened with us publicly or privately, but he said he tried to call one of them other camp leaders out and he hit them and they said, no, we don't. You Israel? Oh, you an Israel congregation? You an Israeli Moray? Said, oh no, we don't debate other Israelites. We'll deal with the church, but we're not debating other Israelites. You didn't have Sakari camps talking about unifying. ISUPK running around here talking about if it ain't ISUPK, it ain't the truth. Like ain't nobody else got the truth. Now, because Sakari, the lowest of the low, is saying to unify, saying don't necessarily say that brother ain't your brother. Y'all go ahead and y'all play crazy and act like how y'all want to with all these other different groups of people out here, and people are learning cross-pollination. Y'all go ahead and abandon and throw away all nothing to these videos because them other people told you she of the wicked one. Y'all go ahead and act stupid if y'all want to. Something is happening with all believers on the internet. How people are receiving and picking up stuff from other people. Cross-pollination. Keep thinking it's a game. Have you heard speech like this before? He ain't running around just talking about, oh, I can't wait till you white people, I'm gonna rape you. He ain't talking about this now. Is the preaching changing?
To have a lot more mercy and compassion upon them. Not so quick to just call them out their name. Not so quick to just, isolate and separate yourself from them. We need one another. We need one another. And especially if you understand that we are coming out of this Torah, out of this law, we have to have compassion and mercy for one another. Read.
And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor. And let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart.
It says none of you can have evil, right? Or none of you should imagine any evil. Sister, let us get you a flyer. Stop real quick. Pull over right here. Let's get you a flyer. You can catch the next light.
Now, for the record, Guerrilla Hebrew is the bishop of all these people. I'm talking church talk. I know y'all don't use bishop. Y'all don't start emailing me. I'm going to block y'all. Y'all bother me. I'm using this talk to let the church people know he is the bishop of these guys. You see 4,000 people the other night? Trust and believe 2,000 minimum. They could have been mostly his people. He's the bishop of them people. They came out thick for the debate. Why is that? The other guy, when the Jabari debate was coming, they said, that many people ain't going to show up. I remember we were supposed to have the debate in CCC Church in Brooklyn. What's the big church over there by Starbridge City? I think it's CCC. What's his pastor name? We're supposed to have it over there. Then a money issue came up. Somebody else was like, yo, them Christians don't come out. They expect their pastors and them to defend the faith. They not going to step up like that. They not going to come out and support like that. They ain't interested in it like that. He's the face of the camp. So this is his people right here. Church people, wake up. This is his people right here. He the bishop of these dudes. A.R. Bernard, thank you. Somebody, thank you. All right, dudes, you want to say something before I play this and we can go to the other thing? This is just what's going on.
Hold on, Brian. These might be your type. AR, I'm looking at the brother. I guess the open carry state. I don't know, maybe in Arizona or something. You see what he got?
Oh, yo, a whole bunch of them. Takari all over the place.
Nah, but you see what the brother got?
Let me see. Oh, he got
one.
Oh, yeah. They sent me another one. Gorilla Hebrew standing behind. They sent me another one. I said, what this dude got an old musket? Well, that's one thing. People have been collecting videos with various camp leaders with hammers. Black folk with hammers don't bother me. Black folk with hammers don't bother me. Y'all could try to, and I know why some people sending pictures and certain things are coming up because they want to spin a narrative. I'm already up in that. Matter of fact, let me pull up that Charleston White. Charleston White. There's some cussing in there, but I'm gonna show y'all something. Go ahead.
Nah, Spirit Simeon,
I ain't even noticed that. Go ahead.
Nah, Marie ain't got to do it. All I can control is on StreamYard. Marie has to put the poll on YouTube.
He said, what he said, Berea, can you have Dunamis pull up a poll on who won the debate? How I can do that? How I can let you do that then?
Where do I find a poll? And is the poll slanted? Is it a neutral channel? Or is it a channel that one group goes more than the other?
Well, I don't know. Ask everybody in here, put Gorilla or put Doctor. Everybody's only 160 people in here, but it's good, man, because most people are at camp, most people in Shabbat service, most people are shopping, washing their car, doing whatever y'all folk do on Saturday. So maybe it's good. It's only 160 people in here. Put Gorilla, put Dr. Brown, who y'all think won the debate. And then I got Gorilla Hebrew lined up. He's saying what everybody's saying. It ain't an echo chamber, no sources, or not many. Let me say what he said, not
Yeah,
many.
Arkansas Judah, how many Christians go to that channel? Would it be slanted? And then the brother earlier, bro, I'm not saying black folks can't protect themselves or own anything like that. All I'm saying is Marine like that kind of stuff. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I
didn't even, I can't believe I missed that one. Yes. Gorilla. Well, all right, Gorilla. All right. He could. You can say it one time. You can say it 100 times. It's only counting as one vote, brother. It's only counting as one vote. He said Gorilla one, Gorilla one, Gorilla one. Like it's 3 different votes. Or a few people saying Gorilla. All right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. If you were to say like vocab had a poll and they're on vocab channel saying Gorilla won, it's like that was it's a balance. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to do. Just want to have a balance.
Hold on. Let's see if we seen Dr. Brown. Let's see if was Gorilla. Let's see what he got to say about it. We ain't heard from him. We're gonna hear from him right now.
How I'm looking, how I'm sounding. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Hamashiach Yahweh. How I'm looking, how I'm sounding. Let me know. Looking and sounding good. All praises to the Most High.
This is why this is important. Most excellent. But all of y'all that's saying that y'all done been to school, y'all done been to seminary, y'all have been indoctrinated by what Bruce would call Eurocentric Christianity. That's how come I want to talk about camps, non-campers, and the conspiracy theories. Bruce is pushing Henry Ford and the international Jew. Who was Henry Ford? What did he grow up under? What was he around? What was jumping at the time? Because the international Jew ain't nothing but a part to the protocols of Zion. What is the protocols? When they say protocols, it's like in a Masonic lodge, you got minutes. You got to meet down with the protocols. They said the protocols, something took place. They were taking minutes at a cemetery, the elite rabbis. And they said, how can we take over the world? I ask y'all today, do Jews run the world? They got more Nobel Peace Prizes than anybody out here, and they're only a small group of people. The Jews run the world. We have to look at specific things. Where did the protocols come from? Did the secret police invent it? Because what we know in our community, and they're worried about a savior with Malcolm back in the days, a Messiah figure, and COINTELPRO working against people, that COINTELPRO, the secret police, the same thing happened in Europe. This is nothing new when we see J. Edgar Hoover in the feds. Remember, he was in the lodge too. Oh, yeah. J. Edgar Hoover, he was in the lodge too. The way these people run and have order and have structure and run certain things, it's important. That's how come y'all can't sleep to these guys. They go to jail and they read the Art of War and all of this stuff. Y'all sleep and y'all think a convicted felon is one thing, but it's something different. Remember, Malcolm been to jail. I'm talking about a couple of leaders done been to jail. Y'all sleeping folk come out here. All them folk, and Yahweh, Ben Yahweh, Malachi, everybody been to jail before they started the movement. Hell, I've been to jail. Polite been to jail. Young Pharaoh been to. Wait a minute. Y'all gotta be careful. Y'all are sleeping. I can't stress this enough. Matter of fact, that he like Blacktastic said in Blacktastic Israel. Matter of fact, that Gorilla Hebrew willing to run down, and of course maybe Dr. Brown got comfortable. Let the Israelites step up. Damon Richardson came in here and disrespected in Israel. Where your scholars at? I feel bad. I've been rocking with y'all for years. Where your scholars at? Nobody can say nothing. Then he threw out a name, Divine Prospect. He laughed. Now he ain't came back and answered nothing yet. Oh, don't worry, we ain't gonna let that go. We looking for him. But he laughed. So Dr. Brown been throwing it out. Salute Gorilla Hebrew. Vocab said, yo, somebody stepped up. Somebody want to take you on. Remember, Gorilla Hebrew and them ain't said Brown and them was talking. So now Gorilla Hebrew like, yo, I'm going to step up. Well, let's just see. Let him talk. Horse's mouth.
We turned it blue tonight, right? Again, I cannot possibly give praises, honor, and glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the only living God, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh. I can't possibly do that enough. And not because of my, not because of,
I don't know. Lando was saying you might want to skip an hour or so. So we'll see.
All right. He's get into it. I thought he was all right.
If Lando or if anyone has a
the
timestamp,
victory.
just put it in the chat. Around what time?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was almost in the beginning where he said Dr. Brown ain't came with almost no sources.
Okay, yeah, then let it play.
I thought that was almost right here in the beginning. That's the point I want to bring out, and then I want to bring out what my man Most Excellent just said. Because you see what he just said, Most Excellent just said in the super chat. Because we gotta go to Guerrilla Hebrew sources. This ain't like Ricard now. This ain't like Ricard. It's a little different. Let's go to the sources and let's see how the Israelites. Let's see, because Bruce is a non-camper, but Bruce is pushing the international Jew. There's plenty Israelites is preaching and teaching the protocols of Zion is a real work. No matter it came from the secret police, and it was proven that it came from the secret police. Like COINTELPRO dropping something in the middle of Elijah Muhammad and they're beefing with Malcolm X. COINTELPRO, they dropping something in between there. Was the feds in there? And was the feds in the auto ballroom with state troopers in there? Were there black people that was on the payroll? I can't ask y'all that because y'all say nobody is a snitch. Nobody got knocked with hammers or something else, and they involved in the camps. And the police said, all right, you listen, you want to get around getting knocked with these switches with this thing? You tell us what them folk doing. Are there any black state troopers, any black feds that's in IURC? Or is there anybody black in Sakari that got knocked with hammers and they be like, yo, you part of that group. I want to hear about this group. We ain't going to send you up top for these 7 years. A lot of dudes are just, shout out to Bobby Brown or Bobby Schmurda and them. Say what you want. His man said them was going to get 12. They'd be like, yo, we'll all take 7 right now. Bobby cop out. Yo, let's take that. They wanted to give this man and the rest of them 12 and 15 and 18 years. They said, yo, we all going to come home on the same 7. But how many people going to do that? Other dudes get knocked with hammers. They start talking about 8 years in the feds, and the feds are different. You'll be from New York, and the feds will send you to California. In New York, you get knocked on state charges. They'll send you to Attica. That's 10.5 hours away. Sing Sing, 5 hours from Brooklyn. It ain't that bad. Wait, no. Sing Sing ain't there 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Eastern, they'll send you to Comstock. They'll send you around the state, but you'll still be within the state. That's when some people be like, I didn't know New York was so big from the Bronx. You'll get on a bus and you ride 9 hours all night, but your girl will be in front of the visiting room the next day. California, not so. That's a whole different thing. Let's keep going. Let me see where he at.
In the debate, but for this truth. Because the truth is, the Most High can bug me out tomorrow. He could kill me tomorrow. But the truth is still the truth. If he bugged me out and I start believing something else in 24 hours, the truth is the truth. And I'm just honored to be utilized as a vessel to dispense the truth in any capacity. So all praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The truth is ringing. From sea to shining sea as the Most High intended. It was all in the Most High's plan. If y'all remember, when Vocab and I met up and did the coin toss, before we did the coin toss, Vocab said, what? This is all predestined from God. This is all a part of God's plan. What you guys didn't see before the debate was Vocab said a prayer before the debate. And he said, I'm going to say a prayer that I believe all parties involved will agree with. And in the prayer, he said, God, let your truth prevail.
I hate this guy. He ain't lying, no. We did pray right before I hit the button. I'm trying to figure out everything, but as soon as Dr. Brown, we tried to help him get his Guerrilla Hebrew had his stuff right. I got a Mac, he got a Mac, he had his stuff right, but Dr. Brown was back there trying to figure it out. So I'm hitting Vocab on the jack, be like, yo, Dr. Brown needs some help. And when he did get on and everybody got their presentations together and everything right before we hit the live button, vocab that he's saying Gorilla Hebrew ain't lying. We did pray. He did say that this is what it is.
Right? Whatever. Sister Zion, how about Shemi Al Shah Brakatah Watha Water? I have so much to say. I have so much to say. So I want y'all to, get your seatbelts on. Well, actually, no, don't get your seatbelts on. Kick your feet up, get your popcorn, and we're going to talk about this tonight through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. I'm going to be joined momentarily by a few guests, a cast of characters that you guys are all familiar with. I'm getting ready to order some pizza. Because we're having a pizza party tonight in reviewing this debate, right? Pizza party. Of course, we observe the lunar Sabbath. Nobody get alarmed. Nobody get alarmed.
Oh, it's 4.5 hours. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go try to. Oh man, my
Yeah,
laptop already down. I might gotta. I ain't know it was this long. Hold on. Wait, most Christians listen to Abu. Everybody, most Christians declare Brown, and most Israelites declare Alzar. The Yap broke from that partisan and tend to give it to Brown. Yes, I can't. I gotta say, Yap gang, all Israelites, made up of all Israelites, say that Brown run it. That won it on the strength of the sources. Y'all claim there weren't no sources, but that's how come we got to get into it. You see what most excellent is saying. The sources that Guerrilla Hebrew used, we're going to have to all go over them together. Now, he used Dr. Henry, and Dr. Henry is the truth. We got to admit Dr. Henry is the truth, but what did he say Dr. Henry said, and how did Brown and the rest of us, how are we to understand that? Go ahead, Dunamis. I know we did.
Lando said they started the debate with you at 1:35, hour 35 minutes.
All right, I gotta go to that because my laptop is. All right, let me go ahead.
And speaking of pizza, when's the team gonna have a pizza party, brother?
You ain't lying, bro. We got to do something. We got to do something because I'm gonna run around the Chinese restaurant already. I'm gonna run around that corner and get me some ice cream. I got to get me another plug for this thing. I want to play this whole. I want us to all walk through this thing together. Because a lot of people ain't going to Guerrilla Hebrew site. We gonna be honest. A lot of believers ain't going over there. So but I know a Christian pastor too that'll jump on, a bishop or two that'll jump on this channel and say, "Well, Berean playing. I'm gonna listen to it just on the strength." We got to go over all of this together. We got to have a pizza. We got to do something. Talking about pizza. Dunamis just hungry right now. That's why he's saying that. Bruce already here. You can't leave right now. Berean, in Henry Ford's book, The International Jew, Ford is the first to expose the protocols of Zion in his book. Bruce, are you at work? You always at work. I got to stop this for 1 minute.
Hey, man, I got to step away. Sorry, bro. I got to step away. But Bruce, did Ebery and Yap Gang, did their sources suffice as sources? If Dr. Brown had showed those sources, would you consider those? All right. I might be back in a little bit.
All right, no problem. I got to hit this before, because he's talking about the protocols. I got to hit that before we even get into the depths, because Guerrilla Hebrew and them, they're gonna go in. Let me see. What is the protocols? I want to get into some of that. This is Henry Ford. Henry Ford is known as an spreading anti-Semitism. The F-150. He's the guy that invented the Ford. All these Ford cars you see in the street. He didn't like a lot of stuff Jewish. And at that time, a lot of Jewish people were coming into the country. And it's just like some Mexicans may be coming into the country and folk worried about their jobs and all of this stuff. This is from PBS. We can just look down on the whole screen. Ford. When you see this Ford, we're talking about Henry Ford, the guy that made the Ford car. Ford Anti-Semitism, Americans Experience, official site. This is from PBS. How American icon Henry Ford fostered anti-Semitism. Henry Ford and anti-Semitism, a complex story. Henry Ford picked up and started believing in this stuff after reading the Protocol of the Learned Elders of Zion. That's how come I ask y'all, are y'all very familiar with the secret police and how that was dropped and people already started believing it? When the truth came out, the truth just came out about Malcolm. No matter people been saying it, we ain't want to believe it, but the government knew some stuff. The truth just came out. Maybe these guys, after doing time in jail, didn't really murder. The truth sometimes comes out later on, and when some people are talking, it sounds like a conspiracy. Other times, things come out, and then when the truth come out, people already believe it, but it's too late now. The belief is gone ahead of the truth. So which one is it with Ford? Let me read some of this. Ford, an American experience. And now some people would say, because Bruce can automatically argue like some would argue, they would say, yo, say what you want. They own Facebook. Jews own the internet, so they change the information. So Facebook and YouTube and all that, if social media, TikTok and all of this is controlled by Jews, or the Jews control the Asians that's controlling this stuff, how are they letting y'all because y'all do know that the awakening is largely spread because of the internet. When YouTube first came out, a lot of those camps ain't had building. One West controlled YouTube with the doctrine of the black man. What's the other brother that wrote that book From Babylon to Timbuktu? And they were just preaching that in the King James Bible, the Apocrypha, under their hand, and that's what they were working with in the streets. What year YouTube came out? Oh, Sinetta, of course, in underground bookstore. Let me bring up that other historical document, how they said in Texas and in Philly, in different bookstore, how the feds broke in, state troopers broke in and flooded the bookstore, bringing this knowledge to the people. Certain stuff these folk have been against. Let me keep going, though. Henry's four anti-Semitic views echoed fear and the assumption of many Americans in the 19th and early 20th century. Anti-Semitism in America saw a change in expression and virulence when increased migration of Europe brought millions of Jews to the U.S. Ford's childhood in the later half of the 19th century, it reached its peak in 1920s, a time when the Ku Klux Klan membership has reached, listen to this, membership in the Ku Klux Klan has reached 4 million people. Can you imagine? Y'all were to run around here talking about the awakening and black people, and we ain't even, I seriously don't think you got 4 million people at camps and non-campers alike that's influencing people right now. But 4 million Ku Klux Klan members, state troopers, they all in the court, they in the DMV, they in the school system, they all over the place. Mississippi out of control, the whole South out of control, racists everywhere. 4 million people in this so-called Christian organization of the Ku Klux Klan. White supremacy. And these people got stuff based off of scripture. We better than them. Okay. Prohibition on restricted alcohol consumption and discriminatory immigration policies were enacted favoring immigrants from Northern and Western Europe. Now, the way immigration laws work and how they were treating those people over there and how they let the light-skinned people in and how they want to treat the people coming from Haiti and people, they funny, they some type racist with who they want to bring in this country. These are things we gotta face. You good Bible, you good Christians, sit down for a minute and don't say nothing because y'all can't see certain things in this great white Christian America. Y'all can't see it. Don't talk right now. You're gonna get yourself blocked. This is nothing but truth. Western Europe over parts of the world. A close friend, listen to this. A close friend recalled the campaigning trip in 1919 in which Ford lectured a group around a campfire. He already got money. He's selling cars. He got bread. He wanted to take his bread like Kanye. He wanted to take his bread to help what he thinks is the awakening of the truth. You got to tell people about these wicked Jews. This is Henry Ford talking at a campfire around some close friends. He attributed all the evil of the Jews to the Jewish capitalists. That comes from Protocols of Zion. A friend wrote in his diary, the Jews caused the war, the Jews caused the outbreak of thievery and robbery all over the country. All these white folks stealing because of the Jews. The Jews are behind it. The Jews are behind the wars. The Jews are behind the inefficiency of the Navy. The Jews are behind everything. Under every rock is a smart Jew trying to manipulate the whole United States of America. And this is what Henry Ford was teaching. In 1918, Ford purchased his hometown newspaper. He got money. He's selling cars. Now he buys the newspaper. Remember what I said about propaganda and who's putting out the news? Are y'all getting it from Fox? Are y'all getting it from CNN? Is it Christian News? Is it the 700 Club? Is it a slant to the news? Is it that Islamic newspaper company or publishing company? Who is it? The Dearborn Independent. A year and a half later, he began a series of articles that claim a vast Jewish conspiracy was infecting America. Where did he get this from? This is protocol. He didn't write his book yet, The International Jew. It's just an ongoing, it's just a part 2 to the protocols. This series ran following 91 issues. Ford bound an article into 4 volumes and he entitled it The International Jew. This is the book that Bruce told us we should read that talks about the truth. And distributed 500,000 copies to a vast network of dealerships. He got car dealerships. The most popular car back then wasn't the F-150 pickup. The most popular car was something called a Model T Ford. But he had dealerships all over the country. In new middle class America, they're trying to get out and scrape up their little money and get finance and spend their little $4,000 to buy a brand new car. And it was the F Model 150. I mean, the F, not the F-150. It was the Model T Ford. So in every dealership, he would put it in every car. And when you come in to look at the cars and sit in the cars, the International Jew would be there. You walk in the dealership, you sit down for financing, right there on the table, it would be there. So he owned a car dealership. He got money. He spread it among his smart friends, his friends that he's taking out, come on, chill on the yacht with me. And he's telling them stories about how the Jews are foul. And the rhetoric was not unusual for its content as much as its scope. Everybody was talking about the Jews was foul in the late 1800s, early 1900s. But he got a publishing company now. One of the most famous men in America, Henry Ford, legitimized ideas that otherwise have been given little authority. He took it to another level. We always got to know when things go to another level. Gorilla Hebrew debating Dr. Brown took this thing to another level. Kanye spitting Ron Dalton and Kyrie Irving took this thing to another level. Now, international, now people are looking the world over. Now people in America that's not on TikTok, that's not on YouTube, that's not from the urban areas of New York to see Israelites on the corner, now they're hearing Kanye say some stuff. Now they're looking into this. Nick Cannon is saying some stuff. Middle-class Black America is looking into this. Middle-class Black America, and you got some Jews. As a matter of fact, the rabbis I know and I'm connected with that I was talking to in Crown Heights, they connected to the Diamond District. It's another level of people that's listening now. Another level of people that's watching. Are y'all going to spew the stuff that y'all spewing? Then they could easily take pictures with y'all with hammers and say they want to murder us. Let's go to the crime rate, black on black crime, and they'll get the spin. A narrative could quickly be spun, so now you need a people of wisdom. Is this thing of the Most High? You heard what Gorilla Hebrew said. He said, Vocab pray, and Vocab did pray that prayer. He ain't lying. Vocab prayed that prayer, that God truth come forth. And I know a lot of Israelites praying that prayer, that God truth comes forth. Now, what is God's truth? It ain't the Christmas tree. Let's put that down. Because these fools running around here with a Christmas tree ain't got nothing to do with the truth of what's being preached by Sakari. Let's separate the two things. Because these fools got a Christmas tree don't mean Sakari doctrine is correct. I'm going to keep on reading. In the American experience, well, matter of fact, let me stop some of this. I can go back to this before this computer dies. At least I can make this one session or one part of it right here. Let me go to this right here because I want to get to Gorilla Hebrew now. We want to get it from the horse's mouth, how they see it, how they view it, and let me see. All right, let me play some of this here.
The Black 100s, and it's supposedly the minutes of a meeting where the heads of the Federation and the rabbis get together to plan the next 100 years of Jewish control of the world. I always jokingly say, how do you know it's a forgery? Because anyone who thinks 10 Jews in a room could agree on anything knows nothing about the Jewish people. But in places like Japan, it's a big selling book. And he says they don't.
Oh, this another Jewish apologetic website. Y'all better get up on them too, because they watching y'all. They watching y'all. They hearing what y'all saying, and they got some stuff to say also. Let me see if it'll play.
Don't buy it there because they hate Jews. They actually believe it's true, and they wonder how we're doing it so they can copy it. The Japanese are big buyers of the protocols of the Elders of Zion, which is
Japan, Iran, Afghanistan. They're heavy into the protocols of Zion. This is a timeless book. And they say because Jews run the world, why Japan want to... Let's let it play.
the world's most famous forgery written in 1901 by the secret police of Tsar of Russia called the Black 100s. And it's supposedly the minutes of a meeting where the heads of the Federation and the rabbis get together to plan the next 100 years of Jewish control.
The Black 100s of Russia was like our COINTELPRO. Anytime this internal strife, different a secret government would come up. A secret government would come up, or organizations or state police or people that work for the emperor would be moving on behalf of the emperor, on behalf of the government. FBI moved on behalf of the government against Dr. King, against the civil rights movement. They moved on behalf of the government because they were like, listen, we don't want no nonsense with these people. Now, people are doing what? People are just fighting for rights. They want to ride the front of the bus. They want equal education. They want to be able to go to school. They want to be able to buy houses. They want to be able to get loans and get mortgages. If people fought in the war alongside white folk, them black folk don't want to come in. They want to get a GI loan, just like the white man got a GI loan because they fought. They caught bodies. They had people that died there too. They got injured. They want loans equally. Is that foul? Is that wrong? But the government stepped in to disrupt some talks, to disrupt some preachers and some churches from doing specific things. Remember, because the church was something important where some things were happening. We can go into the same thing with Margaret Singer, and she said, we're going to get the preachers with this Planned Parenthood and abortion, and that's how come we got to watch out. They got to be leery because money is involved in this stuff. Say what you want. Politics, money, the state, different organizations, people with different, what we would call different interests are involved in this thing here. Now, there's people with different interests that's involved in this awakening. Think it's a game. There's some people that's just in the church innocently, oh, I don't believe this doctrine, but there's other people that's involved. And they're worried about different people that have money. Suppose somebody like Kanye got behind this awakening thing. Is this of the devil? Can somebody start financing this thing? Somebody had to get behind the other sister. She said, even for them to drop their documentary, somebody got behind them. They said it cost like 400 bands. Somebody got behind them and helped finance that thing. Let me see what Bruce is saying right here. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to, where is it? Where is it? I can't even find it. Oh, shout out to Alton. I know it's your baby. I know it's your baby on born day, and you doing your family thing. Here it is. Let me read Bruce. Thank you, Bruce, on the super chat. The untouchables always accuse people of being anti-Semitic. He's calling them the untouchables. That's another word. Untouchable, small hat people. Y'all already know what it is. When people expose their treachery and ungodly deeds. Voltaire said, if you want to know who controls you, find out who you can't criticize. Selah. Let them basically saying, think on that. Part of the problem is when we deal with the international Jew, we deal with the protocols of Zion, is that type of one, if y'all think Jews control this whole planet. We'll talk about Freemasonry, the 33rd degree. And if Jews control this whole planet, what role does the Illuminati play? Because y'all say the Illuminati. Some people say that they died out, the secret society, the Brotherhoods, out bringing the Jesuits. Type of one if y'all think the Jews running this whole planet and try to stop the awakening. Because y'all using the same Jews that y'all claim gave y'all Facebook to spread the awakening. I want to see how this thing works. Let me see. I see a few ones. I see a 1. I see a 1. I see a 2. So y'all don't think y'all think the Jews control the oil in Dubai also? And families over there? Do y'all think Jews control Iran? Jews control Egypt? Because y'all know there's people on the other side of the planet that's rich, that have nuclear weapons too. Israel got it, but that have other stuff. Jews control Japan and the Buddha. Jews control China. I'm looking. All right, somebody said, all right, now somebody's talking a little more sense. Okay. Mixed ethnicities, all right. I don't know if this is a side conversation. Somebody said, why you don't go research it? What book I don't have on Illuminati? What book I don't have on the protocols of Zion and Freemasonry and the occult and the secret police? What book I don't have on the Inquisition? What book I don't have on me? Oh, this is my talk right here, but I'm asking y'all something. Because we want to separate fact from fiction and what is a conspiracy and what's not a conspiracy. The whole planet. Yes. They said the whole planet. Miss Trinity 578, don't go for that stuff. So you already, of course, I know that. I'm scared. We're having a discussion here. Fair use.
Of the world. I always jokingly say, how do you know it's a forgery? Because anyone who thinks 10 Jews in a room could agree on anything knows nothing about the Jewish people. But in places like Japan, it's a big selling book. And he says they don't buy it there because they hate Jews. They actually believe it's true and they want to know how we're doing it so they can copy it. The Japanese are big buyers of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which is the world's most famous forgery, written in 1901 by the secret police of Tsar of Russia, called the Black 100s.
Hold on. Super chat. This is from before. I'm just getting a message right now. Just had the super chat up on the thing. You know my phone going off 100 miles an hour. I'm going to try to go back. Give me 1 second.
In addition to his automobile industry innovations, Henry Ford was a rabid anti-Semite who was convinced that Jews were responsible for all the things he didn't like, from banking to World War to popular American culture. In the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, Mr. Ford found validation for every Jewish conspiracy theory he embraced. In 1918, Ford purchased his hometown newspaper, the Dearborn Independent, and published a stream of anti-Semitic content that lasted for the next 7 years.
When Ford in the early 1920s began publishing excerpts of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion in his newspaper, the Dearborn Independent, it was a major boost for anti-Semites in the United States.
The newspaper's circulation reached 900,000 by 1926, enhanced by a copy of the newspaper placed on the front seat of every Model T sold at Ford dealerships. After he republished the Protocols in his newspaper, he wrote his own version, The International Jew, which detailed how Jews are at the root of every global and American evil. Ford then compiled his columns into a book, printed 500,000 copies, and distributed them free to libraries. The book was also translated and published in Germany. Adolf Hitler admired Ford's mass production techniques In addition to his
To have a printing company, it was like the Facebook at the time when they putting out flyers, even going back over to the Boston Tea Party when they put out little flyers and stuff like that. To put out whole books was basically is the equivalent of Facebook. And then y'all heard what he said in the mid 90s that Hitler ended up hearing this. Now, I'm going to connect this with Hitler, with Blavatsky, with this master race of ascended master, these tall, blue-eyed, blonde hair, beings from the spirit world. All of this stuff is connected. This is all spiritual. And we're going to talk about devils and are there physical devil, like now ye are the sons of God, are there the physical devils? And we got to get into what the Bible is really saying. Did Jesus believe that physical devils were on this planet? The Bible say now Satan hasn't entered into Judas. Because this is spiritual warfare. I'm going to have to, oh man, this computer here. I might have to stop this whole thing. At least let me get to the Gorilla Hebrew part. I'm going to close the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12. I got to close 3 of these slides. Maybe that'll save some battery on this stuff here, on this thing here. Berean, some of those non-campers were cheerleading Gorilla Hebrew. Have you heard? Yes, I heard and seen, and I had discussions with a bunch of them people. Yeah, they're understanding that it's bigger. It's a us, them. It's bigger than Gorilla Hebrew. It's bigger than the camp. There's a lot of non-camping Israelites. That's how we're talking about camps versus non-camps and the benefits and cross-pollination, how people are learning. Somebody else hit me and they don't know. I seen all of that stuff. I see Sister E and them talking about, if y'all don't give that win to Gorilla Hebrew, y'all ain't right, or something of that nature. It's just crazy. But we watching. We watching, and we taking note of everything, but we know at the same time that the enemy is going to get in here and try to twist this whole thing up. And if we really, really want to get to the truth, here you.
anti-Semitic tracts. Ford is the only American mentioned favorably in Mein Kampf.
It did not result in pogroms, and it did not necessarily transform American society. But what it did is it lent some additional support, additional encouragement to people who maybe were on the fence and who were suspicious of the Jews, but didn't feel like there was enough on which to base a full-fledged hatred.
And a lot of people are on the fence right now with the Israelites. Let me tell y'all, and I hate even getting to this. Let me tell y'all something. Henry Ford, why would Henry Ford be worried about the Jew? Why would Henry Ford be the only person that you'll see somebody like Hitler big up in his book, Mein Kampf? Why do you think that is? Why do you think Henry Ford and Hitler would be worried about the Jew? Because they want to save the world? Because they mean well to you black people? Because I remember y'all black folks said that Hitler knew that y'all was the true Jews and he was doing what he was doing basically to protect y'all. America had the true jewels of God and all that other nonsense. Type of one, if you Israel, you believe that garbage. When he was following Blavatsky and them and looking for the pure blue-eyed people. Them tall blonde folk that the spirits say was the chosen people. Which don't look like y'all. I got to shut it down. I'm trying to finish playing the video because if I don't shut it down, it's not like even nobody else is in here. When the video, when my computer died, ain't like Alton or honestly or somebody Covey is in there that can even keep it going because it's so. I'm gonna have to shut it down. And go try to find a charger or just get this other thing time to try to charge this laptop up low and grab me something to eat. Let me see if I'm explaining the rest of this. No, it's acting up already.
In addition to his automobile industry innovations, Henry Ford was a rabid anti-Semite who was convinced that Jews were responsible for all the things he didn't like.